Bleep bloop. Bleep bloop blop. Let's take that Lurrus for ourselves. We're able to get rid of his Elf-Civilized Bounty. And we're playing from the grave, playing from the grave. If you've been enjoying any content on the channel, I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. It's a great free way to support me along this journey. We've got everything from free-to-play budget beginner guides, just general Magic. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. We're playing Line of Fire today, which is the red and black or Rakdos Magic the Gathering Arena starter deck that everybody has access to. We're going to overcap the original deck here, then we're going to jump into my upgraded version where we're going to break down all of the cards, talking about the play lines, the strategies, the synergies, get into some gameplay footage, and then we're going to have my closing thoughts. So if you find any value within this video, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and share the channel out to a friend. We're not going to break down the deck list in its entirety of the original deck. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how it operates and what kind of deck it is. So if we look at the mana curve, you'll see that it is a very aggressive mana curve with, most of the cards being within a 2-drop slot. So this signifies that is an aggro style deck where we'll want to flood the field with creatures and hit our opponent down to 0 as quickly as we can. We do have some higher end creatures with evasion. We've got flying and trample, menace, something that just deals damage when it attacks, right? So a little bit of high end on the deck to help you close out those matches if you can't get their early game before they start to recover or defend themselves. So the deck is a sacrifice archetype. We will be sacrificing our own permanents or our opponent's permanents if we can get control of them to buff up, ourselves, our strength, our toughness, draw cards, just to gain a general advantage on the field. So, flood the field, sacrifice your own things to make your other stuff more powerful, and smash your opponent. If you don't get them down to 0, bring in the high-end cards with evasion to do so. So that's the general strategy. Let's take a look at some of the rares that you guys received within this deck. We all got a Temple of Malice. This is amazing. Dual lands and rare lands in general are some of the most important cards within Magic the Gathering. Get them, fill your collection so you have all of your lands, and this will make the game a lot friendlier. You can play all sorts of different decks at that point, and they'll still be relatively consistent. Getting land screwed's not going to be there because you'll have all of your colors always readily available to you. We have a Tectonic Giant. This doesn't see competitive play, but it's still a very cool card. 3/4, whenever it attacks or becomes the target of a spell, choose one, deal 3 damage to each opponent, or exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them until end of turn, or your next turn, sorry. You may play that card, which is pretty cool. You're still going to have to pay for it, but whatever. Liliana's Standard Bearer is a 3/1 with Flash. When Liliana's Standard Bearer enters the battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creature cards that died under your control this turn. And of course, Woe Strider. This is actually extremely competitive. I think that the Bearer will see play eventually, but right now the Woe Strider sees play in a few different decks for sure, and in different formats as well, both standard and historic. It's a 3/2, and when it enters the battlefield, you create a 0/1 white goat. You can sacrifice another creature you control at instant speed to scry 1, and then we can escape it for 5, plus exiling 4 other cards from the graveyard, and then it's going to come in with an additional plus 2 on it, right? So that's quite cool. Piper of the Swarm is our next rare that we received. This is a jank card. I don't think it receives play at all. Rats you control have menace. We can pay 2, tap it to create a 1/1 black rat. We can also pay 4 plus tap it to sacrifice 3 rats and gain control of target creature. So that part of the card is actually pretty cool. However, it's going to take you a while to get there. As far as mythics go, we have Kroxa, Titan of Deathhunger. Now this is amazing. It sees competitive play sometimes. It's like a tier 2 card almost. It's a 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it's escaped. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. The escape cost is 4 plus 5 other cards from your graveyard. That's it for rares and mythics within the deck. There's not a lot of them, but the ones that we did get are pretty cool, especially our Kroxa Eat to Extinction, and Woe Strider. Even the bear is pretty cool as well. And of course, don't forget about the land. So this was the Line of Fire, the original deck. Those are the new rares that you guys got within the deck. Hopefully, you're pretty excited about a few of those like I was for you. Let's get into the upgraded version. So my main goal with these decks is not to butcher the archetype and be like, well, this is the best Rakdos deck that you should be playing. I still want to keep the general, bones of it together. The skeleton structure is still alive, the general archetype is still there, and we try to incorporate as many cards that were already there again. So, this deck could be more powerful, you could upgrade it further, but that's not what it's meant to be. It's not going to be perfect, it's just to get you guys going in a general direction of improvement. So let's break down this deck list in its entirety, and we're going to talk about the changes that I've made while we do so. 4 copies of Serrated Scorpion. I believe this was in the other deck. We've pushed it up to 4 copies to make it consistent. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life, and it's a 1/2. So maybe you get some chip damage, and then when it dies, you're going to get a little bit extra. 2 copies of Village Rites. This is instant speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, and then we're going to get to draw 2 cards. Claim the Firstborn times 3 sorcery speed. Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. So we can use this both to take our opponent's creatures and then we sack them after we attack with it, or we can just use this on our own creature to give it haste. Into our 2 drops, we've got 4 copies of Slaughter Priest of Mogies. Now we've upped this to 4 as well for consistency's sake. It's a 2/2, and whenever you sacrifice a permanent, Slaughter Priest of Mogies gets +2/+0 until end of turn. We can also pay 2 to sacrifice another creature or an enchantment. Slaughter Priest of Mogies gains first strike until end of turn. Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger, times 4. So if you don't have 4 here, don't worry, just use what you have. It's a 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, it escapes. Or if it didn't, when it enters the battlefield and it didn't escape, you have to sacrifice it. And then we talked about when it enters the battlefield or attacks, your opponent has to discard a card. If they discard anything that's a non-land, they're going to have to pay 3 life. Anything that's not a non-land, then they just have to discard it, right? So it's not quite as powerful as Uro, but still very good. 3 copies of Fire Prophecy, instant speed, deals 3 damage to target creature, and you may put a card from your hand into the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. 3 copies of Careless Celebrant, a 2/1. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. 4 copies of Blood Aspirant. This is a 1/1, and whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Aspirant. We can also pay 2 plus tapping it, sacrificing a creature or enchantment. Blood Aspirant deals 1 damage to target creature. That creature can't block this turn, which is really, really cool. Piper of the Swarm. We talked about this already. We still just have the 1 copy. When you guys are low on rares, I don't want to take the rares that are already in the deck out. Just have fun, right? Play the cards. It's a game. Heartless Act times 2, instant speed. Just choose 1. Destroy target creature with no counters on it. Remove up to 3 counters from a creature. We've got a copy of the Standard Bear. Now, we already talked about this. A 3/1 with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. 2 copies of Woe Strider. And again, if you've got more than this, don't be scared. 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, create the 0/1 goat. Sacrifice creature, instant speed, scry 1. Escape cost is 5 plus 4 cards from your graveyard, and it escapes with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Direfleet Warmonger, 3/3, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, Warmonger gets +2/+2, gains trample until end of turn. We talked about the Tectonic Giant, 3/4. Whenever it attacks or becomes the target of a spell your opponents control, choose 1, dealing 3 damage to each opponent, or exile the top 2 cards of your library. You choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. We also have Eat to Extinction, instant speed, times 4. 4/4. Just times 1 in this deck. Again, you could incorporate more copies of this if you had it. The instant speed is quite nice. Exiling target creature or planeswalker. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. We've got 10 Swamps, 9 Mountains, and 4 Temple of Malices. So what's really cool about these sacrifice decks is you could easily add, if you have it, of course, Passage, the Fable Passage, right? If you have Fable Passage, absolutely put that in there because it is more sacrifice effects for your creatures. If you don't have Fable Passage, we have Evolving Wilds, right? For our land, that also will help you grab some of those sacrifice effects. Now, this is just recommendation. You don't have to use these if you don't want to, but both the passages and the wilds have this sacrifice effect. Field of Ruin is one as well. There's lots of lands that you can sacrifice for different effects. These ones are just, helping us grab a basic land card from our library. But nonetheless, an additional sacrifice effect could mean the difference for you within the game. So the gameplay footage doesn't have the Evolving Wilds or the passages in it. However, I did really want to bring that forward for you guys and show you that it is a pretty cool option if you want to get a little bit more juice out of the deck, make it a bit more competitive. If you don't have the passages, use a couple wilds. Again, this is going to slow the deck down a bit, but it could be worse. So you can incorporate those lands if you want. That's the deck list. I think we got to put our numbers back up to 60 there. Let's talk about the strategies and synergies within the deck. Some of the coolest things you can do is to take your opponent's creature and then sacrifice it. This is done strictly through Claim the Firstborn, and then, if you get lucky enough to have a bunch of spare mana laying around, then you can use Piper of the Swarm, create the rats, and then take his guy that way. What's cool about the Piper is you get it permanently. The Claim the Firstborn, you only get it till end of turn, so you want to definitely make sure that you have that sacrifice effect available for you to make use of it. So that comes through with our Village Rites, Slaughter Priest of Mogis, our Blood Aspirant can sacrifice stuff, the Dire Fleet can sacrifice stuff, Woe Strider can sacrifice stuff, right? So make sure that if you do take his creatures with Claim the Firstborn, that you can sacrifice it after your attack so he doesn't get it back. That's probably the best play you can make within the game. The Woe Strider creating the goats is really cool for us to be sacrificing as well. Giving the Warmonger +2/+2 is pretty powerful. Puts it up to a 5/5 body, which is nice. Blood Aspirant is one of my favorite cards within the deck. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So, when Kroxa enters the battlefield and sacks itself, boom, we get a permanent counter on our Blood Aspirant, right? So on and so forth. Whenever Woe Strider is sacking something, whenever, if we have the passages and the wilds in, that's going to help push up our Blood Aspirant as well. And if our opponent doesn't have defenders, it will also push up our Slaughter Priest of Mogis. And if he does have defenders, we got a little bit of removal. We talked about Claim the Firstborn, how that takes something. We also have our Fire Prophecy to scoop some stuff up as well. And then if it's bigger and badder, we've got our Eat to Extinction that can deal with it. The only downside here, there's no artifact or enchantment removal, so that can potentially box you in a corner. However, it's an aggro deck. We're playing best of one. The majority of decks are not going to be running that main board as a majority. So just push through, get your wins, farm your cards, right? Wait till Zendikar, save your rares. Only push in the rares that you have within the deck. Otherwise, use your original list, and just incorporate what you do have. I don't want anybody spending, their mythics on more Kroxas if they don't want. I would really recommend that you wait till Zendikar and spend them there and just use the 2 Kroxas that you may have, right? Or whatever you do have. So use the original list and then try to work towards this list. That's my main advice. Again, the strategies and synergies just focus on playing your creatures, taking his if you can, removing his defenders, and then smashing him as early as you can. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Sacrifice decks have been around for a while. I'm sure you guys have a pretty good handle on them. There's no more cat oven, which is nice, and this is a little bit more tame than what we're seeing in Historic right now. But regardless, a very fun deck, a very powerful deck. Go kill some quests with it. Let me know how you guys make out. I appreciate your continued time and attention here through my extended deck talks. I know not everybody enjoys them, but some people do, so I want to keep doing it for them. I'm live on YouTube every morning, 6 a.m. At 7, we're on Twitch, and then back again on YouTube at 6 p.m., all times Mountain Standard. If you don't want to look up the conversion, just subscribe, hit the bell icon, turn your notifications on, so you're going to be, involved, not missing out on all of our future content. Big shout out to all of our financial support on Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube for making all of this possible. Yesterday, we gave away 120,000 gems, so do not miss out on that. Join our Discord for lots more gem giveaways and community events, yada, yada, yada. We're going to get into today's gameplay footage, and after that, we'll have my final thoughts. So don't forget to engage with the video, drop that like. It really helps the algorithm of the video and gaining me that exposure. We're at 100,000 subs in 532 days. Countdown's on, right? Captain's log, stardate 532.5. Alright, you guys, enjoy the gameplay footage. We'll talk to you in a little bit. This is kind of a weird hand, in all honesty. I mean, it does build to 4 pretty nicely, so let's keep it. And we have the Scry land, so we can pull, hopefully, some regular land off the start. 3rd, wow. Alright. I might just look for that 4th land before anything else. Right, we have 2 drops, we have 3 drops. Let's just find that 4th land so we can curve out. Celebrant in play. We could claim, right, with our Woe Strider next turn. Might want to save that. An Archmage bounces us back. Interesting. And the Archmage is like pretty cool, eh? Let's take the Scry. 5th lands, you know, we could play the Giant and the Village, right? Nah, let's pass it. We could even Careless Celebrant, Priest of Mogis. We're playing into counter magic here, so we'll probably play the 2 spells. I actually don't mind that. Right? We just get a free goat. We could have instant speed stacked our Strider so his Borrower fizzled. But, I mean, I'm game for another goat. What? Alright. Maybe he's just got huge tempo this whole game. Gadwick, okay. Takes his draws. Let's hold back because Gadwick will have to cast 2 spells to tap both of our creatures. Thassa, stop it! He has the devotion for it as well. Bounces Thassa's Oracle. Six Devotion here as well. And he's got 2 Borrowers to play. We're going to need to be super careful. So we should hold this after his counter. Let's try to pull it here. Just an omen. Gadwick's annoying, but we just need to bust this Oracle out. I like the hand so far. We're gonna toss that. Omen gets Thassa back out. It's annoying, and I hate it. He's got the borrowers too, though, so I think his devotion's always gonna be pretty high. No attacks. I mean, getting the trample out is good, but I mean, Thassa having indestructible. Oh, and that just like basically permanently puts the devotion there. Bummer. This is a powerful deck, man. I guess we maybe should have taken Gadwick, because he's got another Oracle. Looking at the top 11. Woof. Let's just make sure that we get a good draw. It's not bad. Five land total. Next turn, we should have a pretty nice smackaroni if we can survive. Oh, that's a good game. This is ridiculous. If he can get this to come in untapped with a Caprador. I think it's a Caprador. It's like the creature comes in. When it comes in, you can untap an artifact. Which is that. There it is right there. The Monitor. The Corridor Monitor. And he doesn't have enough mana, thankfully, but yeah, he would untap it for 15 mana, right? Bounces his owl, okay. Get that other draw in, why not? He's got so much defense that, you know, our trample's not going to save us. It's annoying, and I hate it. Let's take the draw. The 6/5 just shuts us down. Really, we only have 6-7 damage. Let's take our scries. Right, try to find a Kroxa. Scry 2's fine. He has no draw, is the thing. Right? Castle Vantress is a Scry effect as well. Yeah, he has a lot of mana here. He could play his borrowers, push up the devotion, and then untap them. Like, it's messed up, man. He could tap all of our creatures. Okay, so he tapped it for white mana, but then he, like, Zedded it. He undid it. So he doesn't get the extra mana. He's just playing these on top. I would have at least gained the mana for fun. He just wants to get that devotion up and bounce. He's probably going to bounce his owl the first few times, though. Yeah, we've got nothing, but the one will be tapped. A lot of damage, boys. Alright, just bounce the owl. Get another draw. It's annoying, and I hate it. We're down to 10 as well. He's got a lot of defense in play. We want this Aspirant out before we're just like blindly scrying. Okay, nice. He can tap like all of our creatures. That's crazy. One more. You might want to cast that flyer though. So I'm pretty sure we're dead next turn. Alright. It's down to 15. Got plenty of blockers. You know, the flyers are available to him. Both flyers, so he can push up easily. We have no trample. We're dead next turn, regardless. Right? Good game. The Mono Blue Devotion deck is very, very powerful, though. Cry. He can tap all of our creatures with that next turn anyway, so to attack and overextend is not really an issue. The game's already over. We're just, you know, finishing it out, if you will. You know, indestructible as well, so there's nothing we can do there. Ugh. He didn't flash his flyers out either, but can just attack through us with Thassa, like I mentioned. We don't really have all of our lands, so we're going to toss this. This looks a lot better. Let's toss our Celebrants. It should be okay. Let's get this out of the way. Ooh. Okay. Let's do Woe Strider first. So even if it does get dealt with, we'll get the goat, and then we can sack the goat later on. Or next turn we can remove... Ooh, it's a mill. Uh-oh. Hold on, boys. Self-mill or us-mill? It's target opponent. It's definitely us. He should be his own opponent. I don't think he's playing creatures, so we don't really need to hold up removal. Land can go. Let's attack with our goat. It's a vulgar display of power. Oof. Just laying them in the... We should have taken the scry there, maybe. May as well take this. Set it up for next turn, at least. Get rid of the land. Decline. Hit for 5. Maybe he plays a Teferi and bounces our Aspirant. What am I talking about? Plays a Teferi and bounces our Aspirant. Teferi has been banned for a while. I'm still having PTSD about him, apparently. Oh my god. Right, and we're in M21 anyways. Woof. Still, really good mill here. Is Mirror Maid an option? That's big mill. Right, the draw 3. Woo! Down to 32. Brazen Borrower, I guess, is the bounce that we are concerned of. 2 mana up. We're gonna get rid of this land. Come on. Woe Strider back in play. I'm gonna give it haste. Actually, cancel. We'll sack the goat here. They both get powered up, and we hit for 13, down to 1. Oh! We get close. He swiped the field. He's doubling down on the mill. It's like mills us for, what, 4 or 6? 8? Whew! I mean, I'll give him that. He's doing work. Oh, 3 Kroxas. That's not good. He's got 3 mana, though. 21 cards. If he draws 3, right? That would draw 2 instead. Oh, but that only happens on your first draw. I see. Woof. You might get us. This is another 16. He's got 1 mana left. There's our 4th Kroxa. Which, you know, it's pretty cool. We just have lethal next turn. If he had an opt... But he'd have to do it before we draw. Right? Like on our upkeep before we draw. Woof. You got close. The hand looks actually relatively intriguing. We can scry or draw land. Yeah, we have to scry. We'll keep that for our 3rd. Ooh. Okay, so with our Careless Celebrant and the Woe Strider, we can take out Watcher of the Spheres and make his spells cost the correct amount. Scorpion Exile, I don't know if that's worth it. Okay, that makes sense, sure. It just makes us sad, that's all, that's all, that's all. But we should probably have him discard. But let's just get our Strider out. And then we have our Celebrants we can play and then kill the spheres. But he does have an Outset of Life's Bounty to protect it. Hopefully just no eagles or any jazz like that. A secondary Banishing Light. That's a hot hand, baby. Take our scry. Don't have the lands for the giant, so it must go. Here for 3. Bomber. There's our 4th land. Let's have him discard both those cards, please. Premier bounce stuff. Let's see what else he had. And a draw engine. Perfecto! We've got 4, we could potentially draw 5 and play in, or we just go in with our Kroxa again. Oh, flyers suck, man. I hate flyers. We don't have enough cards in our graveyard for Kroxa. He's hitting us for 5 each turn. Ay caramba. Right? We need to pull a Woe Strider off the top so we can instant speed these Celebrants. Kill his flyers. Otherwise we are in trouble. If he bounced one of his Banishing Lights, that would be cool. Not the Scorpion, I guess, but the... Yeah, he does do the Scorpion. Clever lad! We wanted the Woe Strider back. He'll take a Celebrant here. Right? It's just the play to do. It'd be awesome if he retook the Scorpion. He still hits for 5. Whoa! Okay. Say that's cool. Lethal next turn. I think he still has, you know, lethal because he has protection. That's really annoying. Oof. We cannot play this to sack. Or this. It's too expensive. That's game. That's game! Bummer. Yeah. Good game. Oof. Let's try to get a win here. We are struggling a little bit. This hand looks great as long as our opponent is playing creatures. He has Lurrus on deck, so we can only assume. We have a claim and a village available to us. We kind of want to just get our Blood Aspirant out first, though. Oh, I played the wrong land. Don't you hate doing that? Do you guys ever do that where you're just clicking too quickly? It's the little things in life. It's a happy misplay. Alright. He's rolling. Perfect. Plays us all that glitters. We can stop the damage. He still gains the life. And we're just gonna take a little bit of that, please. I did want to play the Aspirant before, but I think it's just important to take it whence we can get it. Smash that, gain a life. Crush his speaker. Nuking all that glitters as well, which is the key component. Again, he does have Lurrus, which is annoying. But he's got to put it in his hand, and he's got to replay it. It's like a whole thing. Death Touch is gross too. Also the Lice Bounty, not the hottest. I think Aspirant is good, and then Kroxa can put it to a 2/2. He discards. Again, not really a big deal because of Lurrus. He tosses a land. Nice. No attacks for us. We need to start making these rats as soon as possible for 2. We can start doing that next turn because we can't play Kroxa. Ooh. Straight up removal. Another speaker. That's actually pretty good. It's annoying, and I hate it. Take 2 damage, down to 20. Cost 2, gives us 3. We can block with the Scorpion, stack rats, take control of his Lurrus. Bummer. Lurrus is in hand. Oh no. He's outpacing us for sure. Not good. I think we're in trouble, right? He just immediately has another deadweight every single turn. He can nuke our rats as quick as we make them. He can also push and all that glitters out. He's not cast anything this turn. Deadweight's not instant speed. It is a bummer. We need him to not cast it on our rat. Right, let's highlight this priest a whole bunch. Like, we want to kill the priest with our, you know, these two. Yes! By highlighting it, we took it off of the rat. Or that was, no, that was from his graveyard. As long as he doesn't kill these rats. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Big hit here, don't get me wrong. But we're taking it. We're at 20. We make the third rat on his end step. And then we take his Lurrus. Right. And this is sacrifice as well. But it costs 4. You can play this, but it doesn't really matter. Wouldn't trigger it. We could also do this instant speed. Right? Yes. Oh, he's got Outside of Life's Bounty. I see, that's the trouble. That's the trouble, man. Targeting him is impossible with the L set in play. Which just means more rats, baby. Bleep bloop. Bleep bloop blop. Let's take that Lurrus for ourselves. We're able to get rid of his Outside of Life's Bounty. And we're playing from the grave. Playing from the grave. Nice top deck, eh? Keeping 7 here. I mean, it's pretty flavorful. We can trigger a sacrifice with either of these, right? All 3 cards can trigger a sack for us. All 4, I guess, as well, Village Rites. So we're just looking for Claim the Firstborn, some Kroxas, some sort of shenanigans. Whoa, what a pile! We're talking like 250 cards here. Nice. Watch them just lay pure fire in on us, right? I'll keep the 2/2 for 2, that's fine. It's not as good as the Blood Aspirant, I'll admit, but still nice. First strike could be useful. Especially in limited. Right? Good looking pile, bro. I like how it doesn't put them all perfectly either. Like, kind of stacks the cards mishapped. That's not how my deck would be. I'd have them all lined up just perfect. I get a little tool, get them all pushed together. Play defensively so he can't attack. Let's get our Strider in play right away. That allows us to start attacking. Right, Woe Strider takes our defensive position on the field. That's not very good. Going first. Hand looks good. We've got our Aspirant into our Kroxa, which I love. And our Standard Bearer, which is actually pretty cool. We can flash that in after a sack effect even. Scorpion in play, that's not the worst either. And the Piper. So maybe he's got a little bit of a sack situation going on as well. Let's push our... Oh my gosh. You fool. Let's just take this. Get rid of our Pirate for now. Claim the Firstborn's pretty good. And then we can attack through the Goat. I wasn't even looking at our land base. Always just used to having it being perfect. Oh god. Okay, the Serpent's perfect, right? You can take that Serpent no matter how big he gets, which to me is a lot of fun. The sack effect here is 2. I think it's still a really good play though. Let's attack for 2. He should block the Scorpion. Yep, that's fine. And we would have dealt 1 damage to it anyways, but it doesn't matter. Let's just kill it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I guess just 1 damage, so it doesn't matter. And then we'll sacrifice it as well. For our token. Kind of weird, but whatever. Animal Sanctuary, and he's at 4. They are at 4, I should say. Force the discard. Aspirant goes to 3. The Chittering Harvester. Interesting. Hit for 4. Pretty sure he's got removal. Nice. Down to 12. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sure wish we held up this 8 to Extinction. Alright, so we lose our Aspirant here. Plus we lose the life. Plus we get hit for 3. So 4 total. I mean, yeah, we can answer it. That's good, but... Ouchies. I know this is instant speed, but if he gets the chance to mutate onto it, and we destroy it while it's on the stack, the mutate doesn't go to the graveyard. It actually just hits the field as the organic creature. So I would rather just remove the ability for him to mutate anyways, because, yeah. We got 6 engrave, Kroxa comes out. See how he couldn't mutate, you had to just leave it hit the field organically. Under our control. Bummer. We should still smash it. We should smash it instant speed though. That only gives us one. Let's play on his turn. It's not getting any counters, so I'm actually going to take a 2-for-1 here. And we still lose our creature. Right, we're not having to block with it. We lose a little bit of life, sure. But he's got no counters, so we just snag a 4/6 for 2. That's awesome. We lose our Scorpion here. And we flash in our Bear for the draw. Kroxa comes in. He discards or takes 3. Well, discards and takes 3. But, you know, he might want to get rid of a land instead of a good card. We get rid of a Whisperer. He's down to 8. I think that's going to be game. Just making the most of those spells. Like that Heartless Act did wonders for us. Serpent back in for 3. Let's take the hit. Forces the block. It's monocolored. Protection from multicolored. Doesn't save it. We're at 17. I'm not really concerned. Let's just hit him for the 3 damage here. And then we can play a chump blocker. He's got his back against the wall because we can just play a Kroxa via the dead bodies. First strike, but protection from multicolored, so what are you going to do? It takes us away from lethal this turn, but it would be fun, right? Just slay it before he could get us. There's our 5, our last 3 damage. And Kroxa doing work here today. Alright, boss fight. This is our last match of the day with this sacrifice deck. Pretty cool for one of the starter decks, and I've said that each time that we've played one of these new starter decks. I think they're a lot of fun and actually semi-competitive for new players within Arena. Let's get Piper of the Swarm out first. Maybe start making some rats so we can take control of something. Quick correction from last match as well. We actually have to pay 2 to receive first strike. He'll get +2 whenever we sack, but to get the first strike, we actually do have to pay 2 to sack. Not pulling any lands, not good. We want these Kroxas to kind of get his last 2 cards in hand, if possible. Shrines, hey? Hopefully that gives us a little bit of time. Rat attack. Pull a land, I guess. Cry. Let's get some damage in play. Right, the 2/2 can hit through the geese. This guy's having Thanksgiving dinner soon. We can hit for 1 damage here. He's got 6 mana available, 7 from his hand, potentially. We're 2 land away from, you know, being able to take something with rats. So we've stopped production of them and just trying to go wide with something that can hit and do damage while we wait on our land. Woof. Stop it. Alright, we get our 3rd land. That's nice. 2 cards in hand. We really should have done one last turn, I guess. Getting rid of one of them is still good. Okay, we burn another Sanctum of the Harvest. Not really good for us. We kill a goose and hit for 3. Really? He wants the goose alive. And we hit for 6. Alright. Draws a bunch of cards here. I guess maybe our Kroxa wasn't good. Gets rid of the land. Could have went with Woe Strider, I guess. Gone wide. We don't want to go too wide in case he does have a field wipe, though. And he's got no creatures, so we're kind of not pushing the rat agenda too hard. If we pull a land, we double drop. If not, we just go in with this Woe Strider, I think. Or the Warmonger. I think both are nice. The Warmonger could be really good. 4, 7 lands total. He's casting for 5. Hopefully it's not the big shrine. Destroy all giants, baby. So here's the field wipe. That's why we didn't want to play too much of our hand all at once. Just trying to do as much as we can. Takes his scry. to deal with that giant is going to be difficult, right? We're going to want to do something there. We can't take control of it because our Piper's gone. Claim doesn't work. Uh-oh. Right, how are we getting around this? Scry's fine. Staying 4, dropping for 5 next turn is good. We could have played our Warmonger first, but let's just ease in. He's all the cards he could ever want in his hand. I think this game's over. Alright, we have no enchantment removal. Nice. Totally fair and playable. He can just put it on the field as well. He's gonna replay his arrow, I'm sure. No? Really? From your graveyard to your hand, it is the Sanctium of all. Yup. Not good. What I would do for some artifact removal. Or enchantment, sorry. There's no way he's holding up a counterspell. That would be psycho. Okay. No haste here. His Uro offsets our Kroxas. And he's also got the Shrines that do a billion effects for him each turn. Yeah. Gross. He's got 5 out. Just missing the red one. Alright, so can we do 17 damage? This costs 1. Shit. It's annoying, and I hate it. Can easily just tap all of our creatures. Yes, blessed be thy shrines. Ooh, hit for 6, hit for 6 again. Alright, we're gonna be done this in a hurry. Must pay your respect to thy shrineage. We're super duper dead. This adds a casual 12 mana to his pool. Respect, brother. Hit me with another Realmcloak Giant. Cast off. I mean, we can't even do 29 anyways. He just keeps gaining so much life. If we could get rid of the Black Shrine, you know, maybe we could have him mill himself, but there's no such utility in this deck. Nope. Right, we should do a gate / shrine deck called Gated Communities. Guy's just taking his sweet little time. Take the scry, maybe it's something good that'll save the day. And we'll pretend we don't lose to the 12 damage at the beginning of our upkeep. Or that's his upkeep, isn't it? Do we need to clear the field? That's not gonna do it. Cry. And he taps all of our creatures as well, right? Oh! You can actually just discard things to deal damage to us. I'm loving it. You gotta take the bad with the good though, right? There you go, lad. Okay, there's still some cards I can play. So much mana. Ah, the key to our success. Go. Get him down to 29 if he doesn't discard the right card, but I'm sure he will. He's down to 17 cards in deck. I mean, we do get close, I guess, but we get hit with at least 13 here, plus the 12 from said Shrine of the Fangs. Sanctum of the Stone Fangs, in fact. We lost our boss battle. We're gonna have to get back to our save state. Try again. Reload. Might have to look up some cheat codes, maybe. This is a tough level. Okay, line of fire. Hey, you know, this actually worked pretty good, and I love how they made all of these starter decks. I've said that again and again and again. If this isn't your bread and butter, check out the other ones. We've got upgrade guides for literally every starter deck. They're awesome. Check it out. You know, maybe not super competitive. You might be able to get to diamond. Probably not mythic with most of them. But if you're in silver, bronze, gold, these are 100% viable for you guys. You shouldn't have too much trouble learning the game mechanics and pushing up into platinum at very least. So thank you for your time and attention. Really appreciate it. I'm live every morning, 6 a.m. on YouTube. At 7, we go live on Twitch, and then we're back on YouTube at 6 p.m. All mounted standard. If you don't want to do the time conversion, just, you know, like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell icon. That's the key one there. So you don't need to be doing the manual notifications. Your phone will do a push notification for you, which is great. And then you can come hang out with us real time, have some combos, grab some gem codes, all that jazz. So I appreciate you. Everybody supporting the channel financially. Twitch, Patreon, YouTube membership programs, making all of this possible. You know, big thank you from not only myself, but the community as a whole, who has been appreciating this content. And, you know, even the haters out there, I'm sure that they've been appreciative that they had something to lock onto and get some of that rage out of their system. All right, guys, I am, you know, I'm having a good day. We're going to get into another video here, I think. So don't forget to do all those things, and we'll see you soon.